Welcome to episode 59 of Black, White, and Blue in the South, the podcast discussing Democratic politics with a Southern flair. I'm Bill Kimler.
I'm Jamil Brooks.
And we're coming to you from Greenwood, South Carolina, a little red county in a very red state. If you like what you hear and think others ought to be listening as well, then you need to hit pause right now and leave a rating for our show. Write a little review. Tell your friends about us. Interact with us on social media. Or better yet, well, we'll just pause right there because Jamil and I are actually on a little spring break. But we didn't want to leave you in the lurch, so we've prepared for you this special episode consisting of our opening or better yet segments that kick off each of our shows. Now, I say this every time. We have a YouTube channel where you can see the video version of our show. And this episode in particular contains never before seen footage that you don't want to miss. So head on over to our Linktree page. You can find it in our show notes. And you can easily find the YouTube video version of this episode. Now, I have to admit, these clips all come from before the 2024 election and the absolutely ridiculous decision to put a convicted felon into the Oval Office. Some of the references might feel a bit dated, others may not be as funny now as they were then, now that many of our fears have come true, but nevertheless, I think we've delivered an entertaining and informative hour of material for you. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with all new shows, but in the meantime, enjoy this episode and let us know what you think by dropping us a note at blackwhiteblueinthesouth@gmail.com. Send us your comments, questions, and topic ideas. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Mastodon, and Blue Sky. So go check us out. And look at those award-winning show notes on your little podcast app where you can find links to all of that and more.
From episode 34, A Hit Dog Will Holler, on April 24th, 2024.
Or better yet, somebody publish a version of the English dictionary that has only one word in it, infringed, because there is a very vocal segment of our society that believes that is the only word that matters in all the English language. You see, while you were vacationing from our podcast, Jamil, sipping Mai Tais and Bahama Mamas on your back porch all day, I was out there making political content. And here's one that generated a lot of blowback.
Ooh.
Let's turn to the TV.
Yeah.
I want to demonstrate what lawmaking is like in South Carolina with two pictures. This first picture is Governor McMaster signing into law with great celebration and fanfare a bill that enforces safety training. Here's another picture of Governor McMaster signing a bill into law with great fanfare that eliminates a requirement for safety training. In the first picture, they mandated a safety training course for all boaters in South Carolina. The second picture eliminated safety training requirements to carry guns. I don't know about you, but when I'm walking around, I'm more concerned about somebody shooting me with a gun than being hit by a boat.
That's right. I agree. So what's the blowback? What's the comments?
The blowback, yes. That was not received well by a very vocal group online.
Stop.
So across Instagram, across Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, I got blowback.
No.
Many of the comments that I got came from constitutional scholars all over the country. Who knew we had so many? They focused on the word infringed. One wrote, quote, "The right shall not be infringed." Quote, "The second bill protects a right that shouldn't have been infringed. The first bill adds a requirement to a privilege." You see, I'm getting lectured. I'm getting
Oh,
tutored
my
here.
goodness.
Third quote. Yes, I forgot about the 97th Amendment to the Constitution. Fishing and wakeboarding being necessary for the mental health of people, the right of the people to drive a boat shall not be infringed. That was sarcasm.
Yeah, that's what they tried.
Another quote. Shall not be infringed, all in caps. If you're so worried about being shot, I'd carry. It'd cure that beta energy you're suffering from.
Okay.
Beta energy. And that actually is another theme. So half of them were constitutional scholars. The other half made comments about my manhood.
Oh, my goodness.
Quote, WTF, how pathetic is this? Scared of people with guns.
That's not what we're scared of, lunatic.
We're
That's not
scared
it.
of lunatics with guns, but
Yeah.
scared of people with guns.
People with guns
no.
is not the problem.
Quote, then stay home, Bill. No.
That's not happening.
Quote, discuss this with your wife's boyfriend, then get back to us. Quote, life's tough. Stay inside if you want to be a pansy. This is the people that we are working to help represent. You know what? You just got to love the intelligent political discourse that social media gives us.
Yeah.
First, I am not scared to be outside. That's not what I said.
Well, that's not the message that you send.
No.
What you're dealing with in those type situations, it's the stuff that really make me roll my eyes. It's like, there it is. That's it. No one, why when you say that there should be some type regulations as it relates to gun control, do they automatically come for your manhood?
Yeah. So I don't live in a constant worry of being shot. That's
Yeah,
not what I said. I
that's
said
not
if
it.
I am out there, I am more worried about being shot than being hit by a boat. A boat ain't going to attack me on Main Street.
Yeah.
Right?
And how is adding an additional level of training to carrying a weapon infringement?
And that's a good point. You see, there are millions of people in this country who live in neighborhoods who are scared of being shot because they can hear the gun violence
Yeah.
outside their door on a daily basis. And there are families in safe communities who are already traumatized by mass shootings, either at schools or concerts or churches, at grocery stores, and they're going to go to their graves living in fear. So don't diminish what they've been through.
Exactly.
And yes, you should be more concerned about gun violence, I think, than you would be with boating accidents. And like you said, I don't think it's unreasonable that mandated basic safety training that goes a long way towards responsible ownership, that it does not in any way diminish your right to bear arms. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Second, the Constitution. This is for all the constitutional scholars out there. The Constitution is a living, breathing document.
Say it.
It is interpreted and understood and reevaluated constantly.
Yeah.
Like here in South Carolina. A year ago, we had a Supreme Court that looked at South Carolina's Constitution, where it's explicitly stated there's a right to privacy,
Yeah.
and said that because of that, it was going to strike down a draconian law that limited reproductive rights.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, after they switched out a Supreme Court member,
Yeah.
they looked at that same law and said, yeah, now we're good.
Yeah.
Did the Constitution change?
They did not.
No. And same thing in our U.S. Supreme Court with Roe v. Wade and all the other things that have been found within constitutional rights are now not within constitutional rights. And I'll tell you what, 30
Yeah.
years from now, they'll be back. So the Constitution changes based upon who's in power.
Yeah.
Not the words, but the interpretation. So these self-appointed scholars out there commenting on my post with their witty insights or questioning my masculinity, you know that they've never read the Constitution, the basic Constitution to begin
never
with.
read it.
And then they get to the Bill of Rights, and they've never gotten past the Second Amendment, right? They've never gotten past the Second Amendment to read the other 19. They completely ignore the fact that every day your right, as you understand it to be, completely, this is how they feel it ought to be. They feel the Second Amendment means that there should be zero laws on the books, that your right should be completely unfettered with zero barriers to owning weapons. Otherwise, it's being infringed upon. Well,
Yeah.
let's
That's a disaster.
Let's talk about today's state of affairs and people who are supportive of this constitutional carry law.
Yeah.
You can't own bazookas, cannons, other destructive weapons without registering it.
Correct.
With the ATF, go through background checks, go through the IRS, etc. Your right's infringed.
Yeah.
you can't take firearms on board with you on a commercial airline. Test that Second Amendment infringement
See how
theory
that goes for you.
at the airport. and give me a holler, because I want to be there to film it. Okay, let's test that theory about infringement. And that South Carolina law, the constitutional carry law that eliminated the safety training.
Yeah.
Yay, it's now infringed. Well, guess what? You still can't carry on state house grounds. It's
can't.
in that law.
Yeah.
It's in that law that you can't bring it. Here's a quote from here's a quote from SCDPS. Actually, give me a second. I don't know what SCPDS stands for.
Okay.
We're going to be doing a lot of editing today.
Okay.
It's South Carolina Department of Public Safety, maybe.
But you said,
SCDPS.
okay, that sounds better. Yeah. That sounds like it. Department of Public Safety.
South Carolina. Yeah, okay, good. That's exactly what it is. All right. So according to the South Carolina Department of Public Safety, quote, the State House grounds include the area downtown in Columbia between Gervais Street, Sumter Street, Pendleton Street, and Assembly Street as indicated in a map below. Additionally, visitors to the governor's mansion are also prohibited from carrying a firearm or dangerous weapon onto the grounds. So what's up? You hear anybody complaining about that?
Oh.
Where's their interpretation, or where's their passion for
Isn't
shall
that
not be
strange?
infringed?
They're
Where'd
going to
that go?
protect the governor in the office with people carrying guns, but everybody else is at fair game, huh?
A governor signed that law with
Yeah.
great
Make
smiles.
sure you don't come in here
but-
ticked off
Exactly.
with a weapon. But for all my other citizens, you can just be out and about and somebody else can run up on you ticked off.
Yep, this is a law for thee, but not for me.
Hey, that's it.
From episode 35, You Can't Use My Eyes Against Me. With Brandon Best on May 1st, 2024.
Or better yet, get this woman that you're about to hear a record deal ASAP. You see, this following clip that I have on the screen was taken from a South Carolina Senate subcommittee hearing just a couple of days ago. They took public testimony, and this unnamed woman testified. Let's give this a listen.
Final say.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I've got joy in the struggle. I've got peace in the storm. I got strength in the battle. I don't fear anymore. I'm a child of heaven. God hope is secure. I got joy 'cause I got Jesus.
2 hours later.
Joy all around me, everywhere I go. Oh, even in the desert, still it overflows. I've got Jesus, so glad I have him. I got Jesus, so I've got joy. Thank you. I appreciate you hearing me today.
All right, that concludes public testimony of 1046.
So, Brandon, are you ready to accept public testimony as our next state senator from Greenwood?
Oh, my
Oh
God.
Lord, it's gonna be like that. No,
What did you think of that performance, Jamil?
I don't even know where to start with that. Performance it was. You know me. I'm thinking, what is the intent? What were we attempting to do there?
From what I saw in the reports, her song had nothing to do with the bill that was being talked about.
It looked like it was out of place.
Yeah, she had her ear pods in her iPhone, and she was just singing to the music, and she did it for her full allotted time.
And you got to let her do it.
That's right. Now, we laugh now, but on a serious note, given how we've seen lawmakers listen to testimony and completely dismiss
Sing on, lady.
the expert testimony they've received over and over, we might as well just all go up to the microphone and sing a song for what it's worth. It's going to get the same amount of attention from the lawmakers that dismiss expert testimony. We might as well just turn it into American Idol and everybody go up and audition until we get lawmakers that are actually serious about doing the job and listening to the experts they bring forth for their testimony.
Godly. I don't know what to say.
From episode 36, They Done Poked the Sleeping Bear. With Francie Cleckley on May 8th, 2024.
Or better yet,
Oh my God.
send us an updated U.S. flag, one with 7 red stripes, 6 white stripes, and 81 stars, because somewhere along the way, we missed the addition of 31 states to these United States of America. At least, this is according to the new Republican National Committee Chair, Laura Trump.
My God.
Let us have a listen to this genius on the television.
These poll workers, we're going to have lawyers in all the major polling locations across the country. We have lawsuits in 81 states right now. We won about a week and a half ago.
Laura Trump claims that she's got lawsuits in all 81 states. Laura, by the way, if you didn't know, is the wife of Eric Trump. You know, the one they call the cute one. I don't know who calls him that.
I don't.
She is also the daughter-in-law of Donald J. Trump and the recipient of the largest pair of massively inflated lips I have ever seen.
Say anything about that.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I'm sure she's a lovely lady. I don't know her personally, and I don't want to comment on people's looks because it's not like I'm Mr. Handsome myself. But listen, there's a before and after picture here.
Oh no.
And over on the left is certainly a woman who has no upper lip, right? Would you agree?
Right.
She's got a
Snake lips.
very
Snake
thin
lips.
lip, and lovely lady married to a butthead. I got to assume that's like from Beavis and Butthead.
Or the Addams
But
family.
then look at the after picture, and she has.
And so she was. I think that she was beautiful before. I thought she looked nice before. I don't know what we got here.
Well, all I can say is that she has now the equivalent of an entire small village's worth of lips put together.
God,
And think about the money that costs.
Well, listen, I'm not being critical,
Yeah.
but this is the same party that believes God does not make mistakes when creating you, and therefore you should keep all the physical characteristics you are born with, and obviously she does not adhere to that
Well,
screed.
we know that they're very subjective on that. It only applies to some things.
Well, anyhow, getting back to the more important part of what she had to say.
81 states?
81 states, through a lot of hard work and great success with the Trump political brand, Laura Trump is now in charge of Republicans. One of the most important, powerful individuals in the Republican Party. Of course, has nothing to do with her family connections. That's just a pure coincidence. But she's so powerful, she's gone as far as to add 31 states to the electoral map to help steal the 2024 election.
And they're going to get votes from all of
I was
those.
going to say they're voting in those 81 states.
They are. They're going to get those votes.
From episode 37, a family chat about Israel and Palestine, with Will Kim Lur. May 14th, 2024.
Or better yet, prepare a plate of fava beans and pour a nice Chianti, because if you're dining at Mar-a-Lago with Donald J. Trump, you might have a very interesting main course on your dinner. Jamil, do you recognize those words? Do you recognize that phrase?
No, not at all.
All right, you will in a second. You
Oh,
see,
gosh.
last week, Donald Trump was in Wildwood, New Jersey, which is just down the road from Atlantic City, where he bankrupted a few casinos, by the way, back in the day.
Wow.
He held a rally where he said the following.
Silence of the Lambs. Has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me, I'm about to have a friend for dinner as this poor doctor walked by. I'm about to have a friend for dinner, but Hannibal Lecter. Congratulations, the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
And now a word from the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Oh, my God.
So you're telling me you have never seen Silence of the Lambs?
I have, and when you played that, it came back to me, especially the sound he makes at the end
Yes.
when he's eating the bit.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So I'm sitting here. I mean, while he did say, "Have you seen this movie?" The fact that he says "the late great" makes me wonder if he thinks that's a documentary and not a fictional film, because he thinks it's a real person. You know,
You're right.
Trump's speech went on for 90 minutes.
Of him saying nothing.
And the live stream showed that most of the crowd left around 45 minutes into it.
Shut up.
Wildwood was empty 45 minutes into this thing. And I mean, you and I, we saw Biden speak in person back in January. Remember that?
We did.
How long was his speech?
Oh, my God. It was definitely more than 45 minutes, though.
Biden's speech?
You think it was?
It was only 22 minutes.
What, did you time it?
I did. I recorded his whole
times
speech.
everything.
Well, no, I
Let
didn't
the
time it. I
record-
recorded it. So
Well,
I had
that
my
would be
camera
you.
open. It
That
was
would
only
be you.
22 minutes.
22 minutes.
Would you have stayed at that dinner if he went on for 90 minutes?
Okay, that makes sense. No, I'd have been gone.
Yeah,
That's
same
right.
here. I don't think I could handle it.
I'd have gave him 30 and I was out.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. But Trump went on for 90 minutes talking about Hannibal Lecter like that. Anyhow.
From episode 38, Spearman and Childs is Not a Law Firm, Part 1, with Jessica Spearman and Eric Childs. May 22nd, 2024.
Or better yet,
Uh-oh.
load up that BBBBBB Spotify playlist. Do you know what BBBBBB is? That's 6 B's if you're counting.
Yes, Lord.
We know, huh?
Yes, Lord.
Well, instead of having us explain it to you, we will let Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett tell you all about it. Now, this clip you're about to hear, which I'm surprised if you haven't heard about it already, it's from a congressional hearing where the committee was, quote unquote, discussing a resolution to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt for some dumb reason.
Yeah.
In this video, and we'll have the link to it in the show notes, so you have to watch it. You need not only listen to the words that were spoken between Representative Crockett, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
That's it.
But you have to watch the facial reactions of those who are in attendance, especially you have to watch Representative Jamie Raskin, who is just beside himself. He's trying to hold it all in without bursting out laughing.
Yeah.
So let's take a listen to this.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about
just
AG.
I
don't
point
think
of-
you
point
know
of
what
order.
you're here for. Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you still
think your
stuck in the
fake
court
eyelashes
room.
are messing up
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
How dare you
meeting will
attack the
suspend,
physical
meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play. with
Baby
me.
girl?
We're gonna,
I don't
We
think
are going to
so.
move and we're going to take your words down.
I
Thank you very
second that motion.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
What now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold
a
on.
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman,
I didn't.
motion to
I had
strike
no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
That was genius. That was genius. Now, it doesn't stop there. Now that you know that BBBBBB stands for Beach Blonde Bad Built Butch Body,
That's it.
a number of musical artists have been inspired. Let's first start with the AOC remix version of
Oh my
this.
God.
Which is just absolute genius. Beach Blonde Bad Built Butch Body remix featuring AOC.
To better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be blonde, bad built butch body. That would not be butch body. That would not be blonde, bad built butch body. That would not
I could listen to this
Job
all
well done.
day.
Job well done.
Now, there's another one I want you to watch. This one actually comes with a good video. This is the Jelly D remix.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
A what now?
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body, somebody's
Baby girl.
bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Order.
Bleach blonde, bad built.
That is absolutely unacceptable.
Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Baby girl.
Think your fake eyelashes are.
Don't even play. Baby.
Okay, you get the point. And of course, if you want to see the extended versions of all of these, check out our show notes. But we're not done. This is a Spotify playlist, and a Spotify playlist comes with many different genres, not just hip hop. We also have if country music is your thing.
Play it.
All right, calm down there, baby
Sorry,
girl.
I got excited. Ooh, baby girl.
Well, it's been a while since I wrote a song, but there was no way I could let this one slip past me. She's a bleach blonde, bad-built butch body, swinging for the fences, good God Almighty. A heat-seeking missile, too scared to debate, cries like a baby when she don't get her way. Yeah, she can dish it out, but she sure can't take it. Her whole damn life, she just fakes it to make it. Nobody cares what she has to say. Some new eyelashes wouldn't help her anyway, 'cause she's a bleach blonde.
All right, you get the point of that. That was Tennessee Brando. And again, a link to his video is in our show notes.
I think Eric needs to record a country version of that.
Yes.
You should.
Yes,
Eric
indeed.
Can sing. Eric
Oh.
can sing.
Okay, yeah.
Now you have a new mission in life
That's
if you
on
do
your
nothing
to-do
else.
list. Yeah, to-do list this week. Yeah.
So pull up that BBBBBB playlist at your next party and let loose.
From episode 39, Spearman and Childs is Not a Law Firm, Part 2, with Jessica Spearman and Eric Childs. May 29th, 2024.
Or better yet, please protect South Carolina. Sorry, I'll try that again. Please protect Greenwood Senator Billy Garrett from any transgender individuals he may accidentally be attracted to. You see, when he's not sniffing out kitty litter that he claims our public schools are putting in their bathrooms, he's worrying about being attracted to transgender women, to the point where he raised that concern in a Senate hearing. Let's take a listen.
Yeah.
Have you heard this before?
I have.
Okay.
Gosh.
Thank you, counsel. Let me ask you this question. I'm about transparency. So can anybody help me understand why we can't just put it whatever it is? If somebody's born as a male, wants to be a female, or a female wants to be a male, and that's the way they were born, to go ahead and say also known as, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In other words, transparency, so we're in a position where everybody knows where everybody stands. I'm perfectly fine with what you've decided to do, and you should be protected in that. But from society's point of view, full transparency is that we need to make sure that everybody else knows when they're dealing with you. For instance, that officer, okay, that you said, you may come upon someone who looks like a beautifully attractive female, and then when they speak to you, you can tell that they're probably not. Okay, so I mean, again, that shouldn't make a difference to the police officer at all. But you know, when his or her senses are real heightened and they're really watching when they're walking up to that car or whatever, you know, and so when they actually look at it, then they can recognize why
It's
they
making
can
no
see
sense.
the names, and they can see the genders. I just don't see any problem with that.
Lord, Billy.
He is afraid of the old bait and switch. Walking up, you think it's a beautiful woman, but then maybe it's not.
Because it doesn't matter when the cop approached the car. He approached the car.
Yeah, but if it's a beautiful woman,
it's different.
But it's not. You know, we need transparency. You see, Billy Garrett speaks on behalf of society. He says, I get what you're doing, but where society is coming from, because obviously you're not a part of society.
Yeah.
So let me speak on behalf of society. Good Lord. How do they let these people into office?
They do.
Let us know what you think.
From episode 41, This One Took the Cake, July 3rd, 2024.
Or better yet, now this is the part Jamil loves the most because she never knows what she's walking into. This is the part where I always find something odd or bizarre somebody out in the political world has said or done.
Oh my gosh.
This may have taken the cake.
No way.
And I mean a literal cake. I mean, find us, or let me rewind. Or better yet, find us that bakery in Vermont that specializes in producing abortion cakes.
What in the world?
I told you this would take the cake.
Oh my God.
This may be the craziest thing yet. Have you heard of such a thing as an abortion cake?
No.
Okay. You see, here in Greenwood, South Carolina, our local House representative, the great distinguished John McCravey III, posted the following statement on his Facebook page. He wrote, all caps, "Incredible testimony from this Vermont legislator." And then he goes, "This is Representative Victoria Strong from Vermont. She and her husband are Christians and raised a son who became a Marine. A few years later, she wanted to serve, so she ran and was elected to the state legislature in Vermont. Incredibly, she found she was the only Christian in the entire legislature.
My God.
Worse, on the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the legislators celebrate with a cake and chant, 'We love abortion.'" Kid you not.
Now you know that.
This was his post, word for word, on his Facebook page.
What in the world?
So there's one of two things there. First of all, I contacted the media, like several newspapers out in Vermont.
Yeah.
And I produced a screenshot of this quote. I says, "What do you guys know about this?" And one responded and said, "This is absolutely nuts. First of all, she's not the only Christian in the legislature. And most assuredly, they did not have a cake and chant, 'We love abortion.'"
You know what though? But you don't even have to have like a whole bunch of sense, a whole bunch of common sense. You read that and you automatically went, "This ain't right."
There's one of two things that happen here. Either John McCravey made that story up and no such thing was said.
Yeah.
Or B, it was said and he is just so gullible and has no discernment of reality versus fiction that his radar of BS didn't go off at all like yours and mine did reading this.
Yeah.
Imagine having a cake and chanting, "We love abortion." That's what he's telling people in Greenwood happened up in Vermont.
And oh gosh.
So anyhow, wouldn't you know it, a couple of days later, that post was no longer to be found. Of course, yours truly has a screenshot of it, just to show that our representative has been detached from reality when it comes to subjects of women's health care.
Godly. Some things I can't even have a response for.
Did I not tell you that this one took the cake?
This one took the cake.
This one took the cake. It's going to be hard to top this, but you know what? The election cycle is still young.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a long time to go. Let us.
You're right.
From episode 42, Let Us Indoctrinate Your Kids, with Barrett Gruber, July 17th, 2024.
Or better yet,
Happy birthday to you.
Send us a birthday cake with one candle on it, because Black, White, and Blue in the South is officially 1 year old this week.
How cute is that?
Happy birthday, Jamil.
Oh, happy birthday, Bill.
In July of 2023, you and I recorded our very first episode. How about that?
That is too cute.
We met at the public library with a pair of $30 USB microphones and my laptop. We did not plan or obsessively prep like we do today. We had no agenda, and you know what?
It was great.
It showed.
But it was great. It was great. It was just us doing what we normally do.
All right, be honest. When's the last time you've listened to that first episode? Probably not since July.
I won't go back there.
Okay, I'm taking us back there. So we're going to listen to what Black, White, and Blue in the South sounded like
as a baby
1 year ago.
Okay.
And not the mature, polished, professional dynamite that we are today. So here were literally the first 40 seconds of our first episode ever. Here we go. Welcome. This is the inaugural recording of Black and Blue. Nope. See, I've already got it wrong. I don't even know the name of our podcast. Thank you for the tip. Already we're editing and we're only 5 seconds into our podcast career. This is the inaugural episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South.
Yes.
My name is Bill Kimler.
And I'm Jamil Brooks.
And we are your hosts. We are also the first... No, you're the first vice chair. I am the chair.
Yes.
We are the top 2 chairs of the Greenwood County Democratic Party in red old Greenwood, South Carolina.
Yes.
And we are now officially out of material.
And we are.
How did those opening words inspire you? Can you believe that?
I thought they were truly a representation of us.
It really was.
That's us.
In fact, you can tell, when I said we were out of material, we literally were out of material. I had nothing ready after those first 40 seconds.
We had nothing.
In fact, I brag about that. Let's listen to another clip from our first episode.
Okay.
I listen to 100 podcasts. I'm subscribed to a whole bunch. Some of them are just downright terrible, and I think as long as we can, be better than the worst podcast.
We will not be terrible, okay? Let's just say we'll get this first one out of the way, and then we'll take over.
Yeah, so this truly is, no format, none of us prepared. So you're truly hearing off-the-cuff comments.
Yeah, this is really us. No preparation.
How about that?
I like that.
Yeah. You like the genuineness?
I do. I still think we have that part, though.
We do.
Yeah,
most of our show isn't prepared.
Yeah, we just have content now, but I mean,
we
it's
do.
us.
We do. This was my favorite clip of the entire episode when I faked you out on day one. Listen to this.
Gosh. Because if they're running on a Democratic ticket, they have the choice to be heard. They have a chance. They should have a chance to be heard. Why ostracize them?
We have a call coming in. You want to take a call?
Oh, can we?
No, I'm kidding.
I was so excited. Let's start this.
I just wanted
that was
to see your
perfect.
face.
That was perfect. Let me hear what someone else thinks about
me.
that. See how I welcome that? Even though I didn't know, I said let them come through.
You're good for anything I throw your way. That's awesome.
Share the knowledge.
And the more off kilter I throw you, the deeper your accent gets.
Does it really?
It totally does.
Oh, wow.
It's so much fun to hear.
I think that's kind of cool.
So you see how I love just to torture people.
Yes.
In fact, you saw that with my interaction with some little kids at the festival this past week.
Oh, yeah.
You saw my parenting style. But the kids love it. It keeps them on their toes, keeps them sharp.
It does. They left smiling.
And I've got one final clip to play where I give credit to somebody without whom this podcast never would have gotten off the ground. Now, I want to give credit where credit's due. I want to give a shout out to my friend, Barrett Gruber. He is the owner of the Gruber Entertainment Network. I don't know if that's what it's called. I made that name up. But he does run several different podcasts and has a little bit of a nice side gig going. I got to know him through this podcast called the All About Nothing podcast. These guys reached out to me when I ran for State House last summer. And they were on this kick. Now, they were a podcast based out of Columbia. Now they're in Lexington. They interviewed most of the first-time Democratic candidates running for office last year. They even interviewed Lisa Ellis.
Okay.
She ran for state superintendent.
Yes.
And then even most recently, Barrett scored an interview with Marianne Williamson, a candidate for president. Launched her career successfully. So he's good. He's got a couple other podcasts. He's got some buddies that do the recordings with him. I've been on his show 3 times now.
Okay.
And just had a blast and said, you know what, we can do this.
Yes.
So thank you, Barrett.
Wow. Thanks, Barrett.
And I have a surprise for you, Jamil.
I don't know if I can take it.
Yeah, you're going to take it. You're going to take it and love it. I have on the line with us right now the one and only Barrett Gruber from the All About Nothing podcast. And what the pod was that, Barrett? Would you say hello?
Hello.
You did not. You AI'd Barrett. That is not him.
Is this AI Barrett?
It is me. No, this is 100% me.
You are lying.
And actually, AI has gotten so good, you and I can have this conversation like we didn't see each other yesterday.
Shut up. It's the one and only.
It is the one and only.
Yay.
Now, Jamil, do you have your Slack open by chance on your laptop?
It will be.
I just sent you a Zoom link where you can join in and chat with Barrett and I.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm coming, Barrett. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I do you want me to wish you a happy birthday now?
No. Let's get her on the Zoom so
All
you
right.
can see her beautiful face.
So did y'all plan this and I not know this yesterday?
This was totally planned as of 8 a.m. this morning.
Okay, great.
When I thought of the idea.
Okay.
I said, Barrett. See, and even then, I still gave Barrett more of a heads up than he gave me to show up on his show last time.
It's nothing about professionalism.
No, not
it
at
has
all.
nothing to do with professionalism.
Everything I learned about this business, I learned from Barrett.
It's all about instinct.
Okay, I think I'm coming, y'all. What if I would have showed up today with no laptop?
Oh, then I would have put it up on the TV there. We would have figured it out. So I had contingency plans.
Okay, it's coming. I'm almost there. How cool is it? I get to see Barrett twice in a week, like twice in a row.
And we are out of time. Barrett, I am sorry. We're going to have to let you go.
Let me in. Okay, here I go.
All right, Barrett. So now you have had a chance to dwell upon the birthday message you wanted to give us. And in fact, you even went all the way out of your way to dress in your birthday suit, which I think was a little bit above and beyond.
Look, Bill, for you, I will dress in anything you ask me to. And when you requested this earlier, I said, yeah, 100%. Nothing but naked. There's nothing I wouldn't do for Dr. Jamil Brooks and Mr. Bill Kimler for the Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you. So again, I'm sitting here getting ready to. Look at that!
And left us out
with a little celebratory. We'll just right there in the camera, and then I'll.
All right, well, except for my black, white, and the blue in the South water.
That hits differently. That hits differently, though.
Well, thank you. And honestly, if it wasn't for Barrett got us started with the right equipment.
Yes.
He helped us with the online service that allows us to upload our episodes and publish it to all the mainstream podcast groups. I would never have figured any of that out on my own. So for that, Barrett, we thank you for being our podfather and giving birth to Black, White, and Blue in the South.
Job well done.
I don't know why, but it makes it sound like somebody needs gloves and detergent. No, I from the perspective of what the pod was that and all about nothing, Black, White, and Blue in the South is probably one of the most successful podcasts that I have seen grow from start to start to now. Mm-hmm. And I am in awe of the fans of your podcast, and it obviously is reaching. I sneak in there and look at the analytics and like, how?
You obviously haven't met our fans to be in awe of them, but they say thank you, I'm sure.
No, I will say my mother is such a big fan of your show, and all she does, she tells me over and over and over how often she wished that you all lived in her county, in Barrow County, Georgia.
Oh,
the amount of listening to you, Bill makes it sound like he doesn't prepare for this as much as I know he does, because Bill is similar enough to me that I guarantee you he has almost the entire thing written out.
Yes, you know him well. You know him
well. We say hi to Mama Gruber.
Yay.
And appreciate your fandom.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. I feel it. I feel it every time she hits play. I get a little tingle. So thank you, Mama.
No, it's a fantastic program you guys do, and it is a unique service that's being provided to individuals and hordes of individuals across the state and in places where we all have like-minded ideas of what this country can be and how we haven't yet achieved it. But, inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter, we're working our way into at least professing the truth, hoping that it'll catch fire.
Yeah.
So you can catch Barrett on the All About Nothing podcast, and if you want to delve into the dark side of TikTok and Instagram, follow them on What the Pod Was That, which is one of my favorite podcasts that I will never admit to in public, but absolutely one of my favorites. You are the proprietor of, and I think I didn't know the name of it at the time, but I now know it as Big Media Incorporated. What is it? Big Media Incorporated and Big Media LLC, Big Media Empire. What are we?
We pretty much just gave a title to it so we could put something on a T-shirt.
Oh, so you haven't even registered it, so I can go in and swoop that name.
We need the T-shirt. Did you see the T-shirt?
You could
Look at us.
The T-shirts got black, white, and blue in the South on there as well.
You lift that up any higher, you will be in your birthday suit.
Well, we'll just do it right
Getting
there. But
flashed like we're at New Orleans Mardi Gras here. Somebody threw beads at Barrett.
No beads thrown.
It's what the pod was that is definitely a passion because it's mostly just for fun and we don't really have to prepare for that. All about nothing. We are working our way into Columbia history. We were the first podcast recently to actually do a live event from Hendrix Bar specifically, but for Soda City Comic Con, we've partnered with them pretty heavily this year. We're going to have a lot to do out there come August 24th and 25th. But it doesn't pay us anything. The only thing we get out of it is occasionally a drink, or we get to go to an event. And but I think for the most part, it's good therapy, is what it is.
Well, great. Well, I know that this podcasting venture has paid for multiple houses for you and some luxury cars. So we're hoping to be able to scratch up to your level at one point.
I told you before, it's not a Bugatti, it's a Bugatti. Is considerably different than a Bugatti.
I'll always make that mistake. Well, Barrett, we thank you for coming on and wishing us well. This really made our day.
Yes, it did.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll release you and enjoy shots in the quiet, private room of yours there where nobody can watch.
Yeah.
Will do.
All right. Take care, Gruber.
Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, I got surprised like no other.
How about that? You see?
Yeah.
You see?
Every now and then.
I can do nice things and be nice once in a while.
Yeah.
From episode 43, What is Brat? Who is Brat? Are we Brat? With Clemson Turagano, July 13th, 2024.
Or better yet, if you're a liberal, enroll in a killer meme school today so that we can have people on the left be able to troll online as effectively and powerfully as the conservative right. You see, that's according to this guy, Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles is a cutting-edge personality who has a really boring show on the Daily Wire. Have you heard of the Daily Wire?
Yes.
It's a conservative media group created by the lovely human Ben Shapiro. Anyhow, according to Michael Knowles, the right is better at memeing and trolling than the left. What do you think?
I think that's a bunch of crap.
Well, let's take a listen to his point of view and see if you change your mind.
We don't waste our time.
The libs are on offense. One kind of silly example of them being on offense, they're trying to rename a federal prison after Donald Trump. This is their version of trolling. And they're not, the libs are not as, they sometimes have a couple winners, but they're generally not as good at trolling and memes and counterculture as the right is, because the libs control the establishment, because the libs control all the institutions. So they're not as good anymore at subverting those things. They used to be. They subverted all of the institutions in the West, but they've lost their touch a little bit. Now it's people on the right who are a little better. But in any case, this is probably the best trolling they've done in a while. This was just after Republicans proposed renaming Dulles Airport after Trump. Democrats countered by proposing renaming the Miami Federal Correctional Institution, which is the nearest prison to Mar-a-Lago. They suggested they rename that the Trump Federal Correctional Institution.
See, that's why. The reason we don't do it is because when we do it, we do it very, very well.
Oh, of course.
So they're not necessarily better.
Listen, he makes a claim that the right is better at trolling than the left, and then gives a perfect counterexample to that.
Yes.
That's cracking
Does
me
it?
up.
Does it?
I mean, they're upset because it was such a good idea.
Yes.
And they didn't think of it.
Yes. So I don't know, Jamil, how about his other claim that the liberals own all the institutions in the United States? Which one do you own in particular?
I was trying to go through my list to figure out which one I wanted to tell y'all about. Really?
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think he has a point. You see, when the leader of your movement, when the leader of your party is master troller Donald J. Trump, and he's at the top of the ticket, what chance do we have? In fact, I want to play a clip of Trump at the top of his trolling game at a recent rally.
Okay.
Here we go.
You can do it, baby. I love you so much. and it's bad news. Bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I didn't do it.
How can we possibly ever compete with that?
What
How
in
can we compete with that?
The world was this.
You would think that was a... it goes beyond words. But you would think that was an impersonator or some sort of Saturday Night Live skit. No, let's play that again.
No, I think that's him.
That's him. That's him at a rally in Houston, Texas.
You can do it, baby. I love you so much. And it's bad news. Bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a sound that's going to haunt my nightmares.
You know how, normally if you record yourself, you listen and you go back and you watch and you say, hey, I want to see how well I did. Do you think he ever watches himself after these events?
No. And if he does, he watches it with nothing but enthusiasm and praise because he probably thinks that he is the funniest human being in the world. This guy's a clown. That's what he wants. He's not interested in leadership or setting the tone for America or inspiring people. He wants to clown. He is a certified clown.
Oh.
There's no other word for
There
it.
are, but we can't say them on this show.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
From episode 44, welcome to the Jockey Lot with Emily Mayer, August 14th, 2025.
Or better yet, send a Medal of Valor to Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz. You know that name?
No.
He rose to the defense of his Republican colleagues in Congress when Representative Jasmine Crockett, remember her?
Yeah, I know her.
Okay, she viciously attacked the conservative lawmakers for presiding over the most ineffective session of Congress in the nation's history.
Well done.
So Democratic Congressman Moskowitz stood up and defended them. So I think that was an act of bravery, and I'm going to play his statement right now.
Okay.
It's a little awkward when you want to disagree with someone on your side of the aisle, but I have to dramatically disagree with my colleague, Ms. Crockett, who used data and statistics and facts to claim that this is the least productive Congress in modern history. First of all, this Congress removed the Speaker, which has never happened in the history of the Republic. That's clearly that's a big accomplishment in the 118th. This Congress took 15 rounds to even elect that Speaker that they then removed, right, which was historic in its own right. And then they removed a member of their own party. That hadn't happened in 20 years, so kudos to them. They've had a failed impeachment of a president. I don't think we've seen that happen in a really long time. This Congress did impeach a cabinet secretary, though, without meeting any constitutional threshold. We haven't seen that happen in 150 years. This Congress wants to hold Merrick Garland in contempt and then possibly arrest him. I don't think we've ever seen that in the history of the Republic. We've seen a failed motion to vacate to remove a second speaker. Again, history in the 118th. And who could forget that this Congress, on behalf of the American people, saved gas stoves and ovens and toasters and blenders and dishwashers from the communist grip.
Wow. You know what? God bless those Republican congresspersons. I mean, that list of accomplishments, just absolutely impressive. So
That's one word for it.
So thank you, Representative Moskowitz. And Jamil, I'm actually surprised you hadn't heard that before because you sent me that clip.
I did?
Yes,
Maybe
from Real Deal Hughley.
Maybe
it's
this
one of
is-
your favorite accounts,
This
right?
is one of the ones I don't. You know, I data don't.
Yeah.
So this might have been a don't. And maybe it shouldn't have been.
So what was it that Jasmine Crockett was criticizing the Congress about? What facts did she use in her outlandish claim that the 118th session of Congress was not productive? Well, she spit out the fact that so far to date, as of August 2024, this Congress has placed just 78 public laws on the books, a fraction of the hundreds that Congress normally puts out there on a session basis, a session lasting 2 years. So they've only got 78 on the books. Well done.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Let's finish this up and hear this. What we take away from this is, what do you consider successful?
Well, they tried to get bipartisan legislation on immigration policy, border security, railway safety, the Farm Bill, tax law, children's online safety. They really tried. But no, they worked hard to make sure none of those things happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing got across the finish line.
This is how messed up my brain is working in South Carolina legislative world. Is I'm like, well, that means they didn't get any of their crazy stuff through either if they're not being productive.
True.
So that's where my brain goes first.
You know what? Sometimes you minimize your losses and call that a success.
Yeah, so maybe that's it.
Congress has been able to reach consensus on spending bills, although every time it's been 6 months behind schedule and done as stopgaps. But, the government's still functioning. And who can forget that a bipartisan trio of senators spent months negotiating a deal on immigration reform, only to have a presidential candidate, Donald Trump, sink the whole thing in Congress, and they refused to take that up. So anyhow, I tend to agree with Representative Moskowitz. I mean, this is the same Congress, after all, that produced this moment in history.
If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even play.
I mean, what other session of Congress in history produced that gem? None. So I say I applaud Representative Moskowitz. I applaud the 118th Congress and hope that the 119th can only reach half of what this one has done.
I think that'll be easy.
From episode 45, Torts and Drams, with Rock Wise and TJ Jenks, August 27th, 2024.
Or better yet, launch an investigation into vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance because rumors are swirling that he is either an alien posing as a human or he's really a lifelike android that is constantly attempting to learn normal human behavior but is falling short. Oh my God. There's mounting evidence for both of these explanations, by the way. Here's one of the most recent ones that I saw as vice presidential hopeful J.D. Vance popped into a donut shop in Georgia recently, and you have to see it to believe it.
Good, good. The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It looks like is there anybody else in here? All right, one of the few. Okay. So we are, let's see. We're going to get, how many people, Nick? How many donuts do we get? I would get a couple dozen, sir. A couple dozen? Okay. I'm sorry, man? Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut it out.
She's like, what is this nonsense?
Okay. We're going to do 2 dozen. Okay. Yep.
I don't think he's ever ordered a donut in his life.
No.
Just a random assortment of stuff here. How long are you working?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay, good. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, good. How long is it?
Everything.
Just everything, yeah.
It's like everybody wants to exit that room. Nobody wants to be there.
Whatever makes sense.
Ma'am, if you don't want to be on film, you're okay. If you don't want to be on film, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad this is live on C-SPAN.
About 4 years.
About 4 years?
He's asking everybody the same question.
Why is that the question?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's when we selected this place, I didn't know if it had been here for 20 years or 4 years, or you never know. Sometimes you drop in.
It is a cool story. The owner of this place, basically him and his uncle owned his grandfather's school, which was founded in Douglas.
Oh, okay.
And I think they're out of there. Anyhow, did you see anything that resembles normal human interaction in that clip?
Well, I'm going to have to go with what everybody else is saying. That dude is weird. I thought you were going to talk about the next trend that's on him is that they have the images of him being dressed in drag.
Oh, no.
So that's where I thought you
Listen,
were going, but then you hit me with this donut scenario.
That drag picture, I could tell that was from college.
It is definitely from college.
Who knows what type of prank?
It
I'm
is
not going to
definitely
bust somebody
from
on that.
college, and I went.
We'll let the other team capitalize on that. But that's not the only clip. In fact, there's another video that came before this interaction with the donut shop that showed J.D. Vance walking around a public park talking with people before he hit this donut shop. You want to see this? You got to see it.
I'm enjoying a leisurely stroll in the park as a human does, and I thought I would interact with some other humans that I come across. Here comes one now. Hello, I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
So how long have you been walking for?
Today or in general?
Okay, good. I think this is going pretty good so far. Oh, I spot a motherly figure
This
with
is a
smaller
spoof.
No, that's JD Vance.
How old are you, little girl?
I'm 8.
8. Oh, wow, I was 8 once. How about you, Mom? Were you ever 8?
Was I ever 8?
Okay, good. Mom, can we go home?
Yes, honey.
I
go.
Oh, well,
Right.
look at that. Another human being with a smaller creature attached to a leash. Hi, I'm JD Vance. What's that?
He's a. Are you asking what kind of breed he is?
For how long?
For how old he is, or how long I've had
How
him?
long have you been walking?
I'm sorry. Are you asking how our walk?
Okay, good. I love to mingle with the people. Here comes
This
another one now.
is a spoof.
Hi, I'm JD Vance.
Clearly,
How did you
he's
install
JD
those
Vance.
little wheels under your feet.
You mean my rollerblades?
Okay, good. So how long have you been walking?
Walking where?
Okay, good. My vessel is starting to crave food. I think the next person that I encounter, I'm going to ask them where a donut shop is.
See? Told you, right
I'm
before the
JD
donut
Vance,
shop.
Vice President running. Nearest donut shop location, please.
That'll be Beanie's on 7th Street.
JD Vance rerouting. Thanks. Okay, good.
All right, have a good day.
Listen, this was how he was looking when he walked up to Kamala Harris's plane.
Yes.
On the tarmac. And I felt like those poor reporters have to entertain that. But it
Indeed.
went just like that.
Indeed.
And that was serious.
That was J.D. Vance walking through the woods.
Serious done.
What do you think, TJ?
Seems real to me.
No, we have to give credit to a TikToker named Sam Khan. That's Kahn. Link to his video is in our show notes, but you need to see it. He captured it perfectly
That's
to
it.
the point where even Rock couldn't tell if that was real or not, given what he saw at the donut shop.
And another example of why we need to ban AI in political commercials.
Yeah.
From episode 46, Progressive Doodling, with the letter hack, Matt Strackbine. September 11th, 2024.
Or better yet, find me a new host, because Jamil is soon leaving this happy little venture of ours. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it is.
I bet you didn't expect me to bring that up at the top.
And the whole time I went crap. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I had booked Matt on the show, Jamil says, I'm out of here.
No,
she
that's
couldn't
not
handle
it.
anymore.
That is not it.
I'm sorry.
She tendered her resignation.
Matt, it's almost like brain overload right now. So I've got to redirect some energy.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about what's going on, why you're leaving, what's going
Well,
on.
I just think that right now, both of us, not just me, both of us need to really put our heads in a different direction and grind out these last couple of months, because you and I both know we're operating off of 2 to 3 hours of sleep, maybe 4. And so what we can do, what can we give up? And this will be the one thing for a short notice.
And it's not because you don't like this.
No, I love this.
This
I
is
love this.
one of my favorite things, but you're absolutely right. We're heading
Yeah.
into the final, 8 weeks now?
Yeah, and every time I look at that date, I think, oh no, we need to just drop for a moment or two.
Yeah, so let's talk about our upcoming schedule, what we've got going on. We actually have 2 more episodes after this one.
Yes.
We have an interview with a candidate for sheriff from McCormick County.
That's
and
right.
then soon after that, we're scheduled to do a live recording, aren't we?
How cool is that?
All right. Who's that with?
That's going to be with the McCormick County Democrats. They're doing their
Okay.
annual fish fry.
And we're the entertainment.
We are.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
That is so sad.
But it's not for us because we think we can handle it.
Oh, we entertain ourselves just fine.
Exactly.
We just have to have the Matt philosophy of not giving a hoot what others think and
Right
just
now.
entertain ourselves.
Exactly.
Would you entertain during these last 8 weeks, if not being on the show, would you entertain being guests on other shows?
Yeah.
We actually got an invitation from Frogmore Stew.
Did we really?
She wants to interview us.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yes.
And then our guest here that we'll dive deeper in with later, he wants us on his show.
Then we go.
We go.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll make appearances as needed, but we will go as candidates, Kimler and Brooks.
Yeah.
Now, I'm telling you, this is honestly, I'm struggling giving this up.
You don't understand what I almost booked an appointment. Like I need a therapist appointment to walk me through this because like this has become a part of our lives.
Yeah.
So to pull away, and it was a hard decision, but I just know that we need all of our attention and all our focus to make sure that our counties hear us and see us.
It's a matter of prioritization.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, maybe I need a therapist because if it was between my daughter receiving a life-saving procedure
Oh my
and me
gosh.
giving up the podcast,
That
I'd
is-
have to think long and hard.
That is not true.
It really is. I'd be like, I got to do both.
I know.
But anyhow, all right, so at this time, I'm not giving this up.
Okay,
but
good.
I probably will make that decision later. But
Yeah.
let's say at this time, let's hypothetically say I continue on with this podcast.
Got it.
I can't do it by myself.
Okay.
That solo bill is no good.
Okay.
I've tried it. Been
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'm not that interesting.
So we just got to recruit you
I'm going to hold
co-pilot,
auditions
yeah.
for a co-host.
That's cool.
And I only have a few qualifications that are required for this position. So I'm going
what?
to share that. You must be a good communicator,
Okay.
which you have been, of course.
Okay.
You need to have a quick and sharp sense of humor, which is the magic of this show.
Yeah.
You must be African American, otherwise I'm going to have to change
name is
the
gone.
name.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
The Dang Blang podcast
Yes, it's gone.
I can't call it a white and blue in the South. That just
Won't
doesn't have a
work.
good ring to it.
Won't work.
You must be female because I think the female point of view is very
Yeah, you
important.
need that diversity.
And finally, you must have a doctorate in healthcare administration. That's like the last qualification.
No, that's going to block people out.
I don't care. Those are the minor requirements that I need. So if you know of anybody who fits all of those items, please let me know. Other than
it.
that, I'm open to anyone who wants to try this out.
Yeah, we got to keep it going. We'll figure it out.
Let us know what you think.
From episode 47, You Almost Made Me Curse. With Dee Elder and Amanda Kimmler. September 25th, 2024.
Or better yet, launch a campaign to revive Schoolhouse Rock for this modern political age. Jamil, are you familiar with Schoolhouse Rock?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, isn't that the best?
Yeah.
Well, just to revive our memories, let's listen to a bit of this gem from the Schoolhouse Rock right here.
Okay. Yes.
You sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm.
Oh, does this not bring back happy
Yes,
memories or
it
what?
does.
Right? They just don't do this type of stuff anymore. Well, a guy named Jason Kravitz is off to a great start in modernizing Schoolhouse Rock for us. He developed and produced and released this animated video. As soon as I get this one off, there we go. He produced and wrote this animated video. You will want to watch it for yourself, so check out those show notes. It's called the Project 2025 song.
And he did a great job.
You know it?
Yeah.
Hey there, who are you?
There
Oh,
we
just
go.
the most important document in our country's history. You mean the Constitution? Nope, the Declaration.
I was hoping to surprise you with this one.
No, I saw this one.
What? No, even more important.
I was singing this today. It's catchy.
It is. Here and I'll tell you all about me. I'm just a little paper for the ages.
Look at you dancing over there.
Set the government straight. A short 887 pages on how to make America great.
Again.
By forcing through the president's agenda, removing all of those who disagree, replacing with our loyal party members, and reclaim our great country. In sum, give power to the president to authorize the government to legislate morality and wrestle back normality from Marxist ideologies that infiltrate our policies like gender, race, or anything woke. We're gonna abolish the Department of Education, turn the swearing in into a coronation.
Like it almost has me convinced to go along with it.
Project 20.
Makes sense to me.
Coronation? You mean like a king? No, it's called the unitary executive theory. Gives the next president unchecked power to do whatever they want. So, a king. Oh, let's not get hung up on semantics. Here's how it's gonna work. Once that we've started the transition, and no one's left to tell us to wait, we'll go through every policy position, get rid of all the language that we hate.
Oh my
like
goodness.
civil rights, diversity, and unions.
Gotta go.
And pronouns, to mention but a few. Defunding any liberal institutions that dare question what we do. I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court. Oh, the Supreme Court. That's a good one. Now, where was I? Abortion will be pretty much illegal, and reproductive rights will be gone. We'll get back to the biblical ideal that a family means a daddy and a mom with kids. Repeal the crazy climate regulations that get in the economy's way. With everyone reporting to their stations on Inauguration Day. When we give power to the president to authorize the government to legislate morality, expelling abnormality like godless ideologies, protecting inequalities like gender, race, and anything woke. We're gonna abolish the Department of Education, convert the melting pot into a Christian nation. The stage is set, and we'll be going live in 2025. I can't seriously say all that. Want bet? Come on, let's
This is my favorite part.
Page 124. Make more nuclear weapons. Page 257. End the war on fossil fuels. Page 214. No gun violence protection. Page 298. Feeding hungry kids at our schools. Turn to page 5. Ban offensive books from the classroom. 563. Make it hard to register to vote. Page 449. Dismantle Medicare. Kill off the grizzly bear. Delete the term sexual orientation, gender equality,
This was my
awareness, and
favorite
sensitivity,
part.
diversity, equity, inclusion, abortion, reproductive health, and reproductive rights out of every rule, regulation, contract, grant, and piece of federal legislation that exists. And that's an actual quote. It is. And that, my friend, is only the beginning of how this makes America great. You'll be so overwhelmed with all the winning that you won't know what you've lost till it's too. Wait! This doesn't sound great at all. No? No, it sounds like a fucking nightmare. Well, I guess if you wanted to, there's still some things you can do to stop it. Like what? Well, if you vote to save democracy and stand against autocracy and tell your friends and family, enough with this insanity. We fought too long to part with these essential civil liberties like privacy and equity and bodily autonomy. And what defines a family? Equality and empathy. And we're not going back, and maybe we can stop this radical abomination. The future all depends on your participation. That's the way democracy will thrive. America was made for you and me, so let's defend our freedom and our dignity. Now raise your voice and let's keep hope alive in 2025. Now vote!
Amazing. Applause, applause, applause all the way around.
Yeah.
My goodness, if that's not on ABC tomorrow morning for, kids' cartoons, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, we need that.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South. We hope you enjoyed what you heard today. Please take a quick minute and leave us a rating and a review of this show. We really want to know what you think. It often gets lonely speaking out into the great digital void. If you do, Jamil and I will put you into our clandestine Signal chat group and share all sorts of dirty secrets that we absolutely don't want anyone to know about. If you are a blue dot in a red sea, keep the faith, keep up the hard work, Change only happens over many years of work and dedication. As the ancient Roman poet Ovid once said, dripping water hollows out stone, not through force, but through persistence.